Hey everyone, welcome back. And today we are going to check Birlasoft recent Abinitio question. And this one's a quite tricky one. Okay, so basically, if you can do this with the scan function, you can normally code and then you can make use of the function available scan, and you can code it there. Okay, accessing the previous element. But here the recruiter asks, okay, so they have told not to use scan. So how will you transform this data into this one without using scan? So that's your right. Okay, that's the ask here. Okay, we have given ID 1 to 3 and then current salary. Okay, 100, 500, 1000, and then you have to produce ID, salary, and then previous salary. So you have to produce, previous salary would be 0, and then for the next one. Okay, so 100, 500. Like just take take just a salary. Okay, so just for the sake of field name. Okay, so you have ID column and then some number column, okay, salary column. So the main idea here is like we have to think of some component, like to bring back this previous element, okay, to an extra card without using scan. How to do that? Okay, so we'll think on that. So if you are, if you haven't used scan very much, like I'll just ping the link above, just go and check the scan. Okay, so we'll see a lot of use cases around scan. So we haven't covered like more on the scan part. Okay, so we'll bring some more use cases on scan. So for now we'll just solve this without using scan. Okay, so I'll just tell my idea. Okay, so to bring this output. Okay, so the expectation here would be like, these are questions, kind of tricky one, no tricky, and they'll just set a trap. Okay, so how to remove duplicates without using data sort, how to sort without using sort. So these kind of questions you have to practice. Okay, sort without sort. Okay, using sort, and then remove duplicates without using duplicate. Okay, so these kind of questions will come, will come often. Okay, without due sort, like that. Okay, so those these sort of questions might appear, so be ready for this. Okay, so now the concepts checklist. Okay, so I have used, here in this for this use case, I have used, global variable, and then see normal coding. Okay, so everything, normal coding in basic reformat. So with the basic reformat you can do this. So I'll just tell you, okay, how by using a global variable. Okay, so the compound would be reformat. I'll just put, okay. So how exactly? Okay, by using reformat. Okay, because these two columns are the same. So only thing is we need to produce, we need to create one more column. Okay, so adding column. Okay, that comes under reformat. Okay, so we'll be adding one more column and then try to access the previous salary. Okay, so for that, we can create one global variable that's being assigned every time when the record process through the reformat. Okay, so I'll just code that. While coding, you'll get no. Okay, so just open the reformat. So count is equal to 1, and then you go to the transform. And then I'm just going to write. I'll just write the full skeleton. Okay, so for you to understand. So this one should be your uh, yeah, this one should be your skeleton, but for this use case, okay, so I'll just write the code here. Okay, so for this use case I'm going to take one global variable. Okay, so let me take it as decimal. I'll just take a temp variable. Okay, I'll just default, I'll just assign it to you know default is 0, because the salary starts with the 0, right? Okay, from nothing to 100. Okay, so the default value would be 0. Now I'll just update this temp variable whenever a new record comes into reformat. Okay, that code we will write it here. Okay, and then we'll just assign to the output. So we'll see, we have created one global variable here. Okay, so first one is global variable, and then rest everything would be your reformat code, how you process the logic. Okay, so first I'll just assign. Okay, first I'll just assign out.id, in.id, and then you have the salary. Okay, so let's take it as current salary. So current salary is equal to int dot current salary, so that remains same. Okay, so these two variables, these two fields remain same. Okay, so I'll just assign those two. Okay, so there is no need for any changes for those two columns. For this next column, out dot previous salary. So for this my concern here is I need to, I need to update this one. Okay, so for that, okay, I have to create on a new variable. Let's say I will create, let decimal, here, I have to access the next salary, right? So I'll just take for the next record. Okay, for every record I have to access the previous salary. Okay, for the second next record I have to create one more column, print that okay, that value as your previous salary 100. Okay, so let's say, temp previous, okay, equal to temp. So this would be my previous salary, so which is now pointing to 0. Okay, according to the code, according to the global variable. Okay, so I have declared as 0. Now the term previous salary is 0. Okay, so and okay, so now we have to update the variable, right? So because otherwise it will be staying 0 for, for all those three records. Okay, so now we have to update the temporary variable. So I'll just update that as, in dot current salary. That's it. Okay, so this will, now the temp points to, no, temp points to 100. Okay, so okay, temp 100 will be stored in temp. When the next record comes, okay, when the second record comes to 500. Okay, so two, so two id, so second id, and then 500 will be assigned here. And then for that, okay, your previous salary would be 100. Okay, for the first record you will have the temp, okay, pointed to the 0. Okay, see here, temp point to 0. So we'll just take this variable. Okay, and then we'll just access it here. That's it. Okay, so for the first record 0. Okay, because temp is equal to temp. Okay, so temp is nothing but your 0 global variable. Okay, and then your temp got updated here in the second line. Okay, so 100. When your reformat runs for second record to 500, during that time, your variable. Okay, so your variable would be, so here the temp would be 100 here. So 100 will be stored in temp previous. So that will be, okay, that will printed here 100, like that 500. Okay, for the other next record, third record. Okay, so you can try this in your GD. I think, I hope it works. So if you have any error, or if you're facing anything, if there's any bug in this code, just you can comment down below. Okay, so I'll just come up with any other more scan concepts. Okay, so we have a request from scan, both theoretically and use case wise. Okay, so we'll just see that, and then we'll just see other concepts as well. Okay, so I'll just see you guys in the next video.